So you may or may not be able to see that I've done my aeration already. Some of the cores are laying on the ground, but more on that later. What is core aeration? Core aeration is a mechanical or manual process in which you extract small pieces of grass, thatch, and soil in the form of 2-inch to 3-inch cores. The primary benefit of extracting these cores is to create small holes in your turf, which will allow water, air, and nutrients to get down into the root zone. One of the main benefits of core aeration is its ability to relieve soil compaction. I have red clay soil, and over time that soil can become hard, especially when it's dry. So core aeration will help relieve this problem. Aerating your lawn will also help with water runoff and possibly water puddling on your lawn. So if water is able to get down to the root zone, you'll have much less water sitting on top of your turf. It will also help with thatch management in the form of bringing some of the small microorganisms up to the soil surface to aid in removing some of the thatch you may have. Thatch is not really a main issue for me, only because I scout my Bermuda lawn once or twice a season, and I usually bag up the clippings. Doing this greatly minimizes the amount of thatch on my lawn. So this type of service I hire out to an outside company. They come here with a big mechanical aerator and they go over the lawn. They make one pass. I would prefer they do 2 passes, but it's usually extra money. But for my case, I don't have a truck and I don't have a way to go out and rent an aerator. If I did, I would do multiple passes. But if you decide to rent your own aerator, this is where you want to go ahead and do 2 passes. When I say that, I mean 1 pass going north and south and another pass going east and west. Doing this increases the amount of holes per square footage. So the more holes you're able to put in the turf, the more effective your core aeration will be. I find the big ride-on machines they use to aerate the lawn, as good as they are, they will miss some spots. That's just the nature of the beast. I find it's mostly in the corners and along the fence, so any spots that's missed, this is where I'll use a manual aerator. This thing has come in handy for me in the past, and it's really good at spot treating any part of your turf. Now, the common question I get asked, or the questions I see popping up most of the time, is what do you do with your cores? Do you let it sit on the ground, or do you bag it up and dispose of it? Honestly, I think it's entirely up to you. It's sort of like a personal decision. But if you leave the cores on top of the surface, don't go crazy over it. It will just disappear over time. Me personally, I try to bag up as much as I can, but I'm not able to grab every single core. So this is where I'll leave the cores laying on the surface. And you'll find that as you irrigate, or if a good amount of rain comes through the area, those cores will disappear at a much faster rate. Now, I should add, if you plan to top dress your lawn or even level out your lawn, this is the perfect opportunity to do that, because you're able to fill some of those materials down into the holes. So if you plan to do that, this is a perfect time to do it right after you do your core aeration. So because I aerated my lawn by poking 1,000 holes in it, it's going to be under stress. So there's a few things you can do to actually help relieve some of that stress. And one of the things is to fertilize it. When you fertilize it, you're going to give it energy to regenerate. The type of fertilizer I'm going to use is called PGF Complete. Very popular product, and I've used it a few times in the past, but I'm using it mainly because it has different forms of nitrogen and it's mostly slow release. On top of that, the pill size are really small, and if you get a little heavy-handed, you're not really going to burn the lawn very easily. So all that is really beneficial to the lawn. So I put out the PGF Complete, and then after I do that, I want to go ahead and irrigate. Usually when I put out anything granular on my lawn, I go ahead and irrigate a few times, usually 2 or 3 times over a 2 to 3 day period. My first irrigation is going to be a deep watering. After that, I'm going to do 2 more light waterings in order to help push down and activate some of that fertilizer on the lawn. Also, the water will be able to get down to the root zone and help with the recovery process. Another way to help your lawn recover is to add potassium. I'm using the liquid form potassium that's ready to be used, and I'm using it as a foliar application. I'm using roughly about 8 to 10 ounces per 1,000 square foot, spread with a backpack sprayer. So after you've done all this, your lawn is going to look ugly for a while, but that's okay. Give it like 2 to 3 weeks and you should expect to have full recovery. So just be patient with it, but one of the main things you got to keep doing is still continue to cut your lawn, and you got to cut frequently. Now that I'm applying another round of fertilizer, my lawn growth is just going to explode, and I'm going to have to step up my mowing. So this is the time when you got to step your mowing up. Usually once a week is not going to cut it for me. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get ready to mow at least 2 to 3 times per week. Just depends on the growth of the Bermuda. So one of the key things I've mentioned in the previous video, I'll link it in the description right here, but it basically talks about one of the main things you need to do, and that's mowing consistently, along with the requirements needed in order for that to work. So you can check out that video. I hope you found this information useful, and if you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe for more future content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later.